Good morning, everybody. So I'm just going to wait a minute for some people to join in, and I hope you are having a good start to your Sunday. Hi. Okay. Good morning. Okay. Yep, got a few people joining in, so let's begin. Hi Phil, good to see you. Hi. Okay, so I've got a few people joining in, so let's just begin. So obviously today is about self-care. So Self-Care Sunday, and these are the sessions that I want to do. Hi Vina for joining in too. And I just want to encourage you all to take care of yourselves basically, and to understand how important self-care is. So today, what the topic is today is how to make time for yourself, because I feel like this is actually, somebody asked me to do this video because I feel like we just don't make time for ourselves, and we can get incredibly busy with everything else that we need to do, the responsibilities and duties that we have to do in the world. So we can kind of lose sight of ourselves. Hi Uma as well. So we can really lose sight of making ourselves a priority. And what I want to get across today is like how important you are, and that you are so valuable and you're so worthy of your time and awareness and attention, and it's really needed. And in order for you to really be like the best version of yourself, for yourself and for others, then it's really important that you invest time in yourself. So like I said, the session today is how to make time for yourself. Thanks Uma for the message, and hi Yana, thanks for joining in. So how to make time for yourself. So first of all, I just want to say, like, listening to this video, whether you're listening to it live right now or you're going to listen to it later recorded, is the first step. So that's already like you've created some time for yourself, so that's amazing. So congratulate yourself first of all, just like give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself like a little connection to your heart, just taking the time to listen to this video. And what I want to do with these videos is create that routine. So every Sunday we come together and we talk about self-care, we talk about the practices that we can do, and maybe share different practices, and that consistency. So routine, consistency, will start to help you create a discipline, because really in order to self-care and to take care of yourself, it does require some discipline. And that can be like a really heavy word and a heavy idea and concept, to really be disciplined. But if we can start to do that by just creating routine, and making it like a habit, like every Sunday is going to be your self-care time, right? So make that a habit, and whether you then progress that into like daily habits of self-care, then amazing, right? So we want to just first of all just start to create some routine and consistency. So whether it's you doing the video like I said today, or whether it's you getting onto your yoga mat in the morning every day, even if it's just for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, just getting onto your yoga mat. Maybe it's just taking time for yourself to go out and have a walk and be in nature, whether it's time to journal, to write, whatever that might be, whatever your self-care might be. But also what I want to, I don't want to make this like so many, like there's so many practices, because there's so many self-care practices you can do for yourself, loads. But what I want to do in order to make time for yourself is I want to find ways that are going to be easy to implement into your life as it is right now. So I don't know if any of you have heard of this concept of mindfulness. It's obviously like a big word, it's been used quite a lot. But if we can approach our life in a way, like our day-to-day life in a way that is mindful, then I think that already starts to implement the self-care into your life. Like that will just automatically bring it back to yourself. So that could be like when you're brushing your teeth, like really being in the moment of brushing your teeth and really feeling the sensation looking at yourself in the mirror, like maybe smiling at yourself, maybe just saying a little affirmation to yourself like, you're amazing, you're doing well, and or I love myself, like whatever it might be. But already bringing those practices into your day-to-day life. And then it could also be like, for example, how you approach your food. Like when you sit down to eat, are you kind of rushing to eat quickly? Or are you going to like sit down, maybe if you've got time to like say a little prayer beforehand, or if you don't want to say a prayer, just some gratitude, like closing your eyes and just saying thank you for the food. It's something you can do if you have kids as well, and do it with them. And then just eating mindfully and really tasting the food, being present to the food, and experiencing it, really experiencing in your body. Hi Neelam, oh she's joined in, that's my sister by the way everyone, she's joined in, hi, thanks for joining in. So just really being present with your food, so again like being mindful of your food. And mindfulness can be in everything that you're doing, and I think what it really is about bringing your mind into the present moment and into the practice. So, not the practice, but your life, like whatever it is that you're doing. So even if you're doing your moisturizing in the morning, like this is a big thing, like skincare is a big thing, a big part of like self-care, and it's something that you're automatically going to be doing for yourself. But how can we do this more mindfully? We can just be really present, really feel the experience, feel the sensation. It might also be making longer time for yourself. So rather than just like a quick moisturizing, maybe you can also like massage your face, do some face yoga, do it with your body as well. So there's something called Abhyanga in Ayurveda, which is about oiling your body and massaging your body, and at the same time it's moisturizing your body, and that is self-care. And if you really want to go deeper into self-care, Ayurveda has like so many different practices where you can start to like take care of your body, and like even just like the external, so like I said, like the skincare. Thank you, More Than Blessed, for coming in and joining as well. So I think like with the Ayurveda, there's loads of different self-care practices that you can do. But like I said today, I want to make it about just doing things in your day-to-day life where you're already taking care of yourself, but just doing it a bit more mindfully, because sometimes it can be hard to implement all these self-care practices. And the other thing that you can do is to just slow down, like just slow down. And even if I say that, I'm like slowing down my words, because I feel like we are so rushing around doing so much all the time that we don't actually slow down, we don't be in the moment, we don't even breathe, like we don't allow the breath to come in. So the other day I was working with a private client, and she's great. I've worked with her for years, and she's a very busy woman. She's got a really intense job, and she's constantly like on the go. So when we come into our yoga practice, it's like she wants to rush in from one pose to the next, to the next, to the next. And I really have to slow her down, and I often do this with the breath. So just inviting her to take a deep breath in and out before we move into the next pose, because this just allows you space, allows you time. It gives you back time. I know you feel like it's probably taking time away, but it gives you back time. So I think just slowing it down can really just help you to care for yourself and make time for yourself, right? It doesn't have to be like 3 breaths. It can just be 1 breath in between you doing things. Brings you back to yourself. Even if you can just then take a moment, take your hands on your heart, breathe deeply in and out, and work through it that way. You can do that, but just coming back to yourself. And I think that sense of connection and touch is really important. Like just taking your hands, like it doesn't even have to be on the heart. It can be on a part of the body where, I don't know, maybe you've got a little bit of lower backache or whatever. Just take your hands there and just allow your hands to connect to your body. Can be so beautiful, and that's a really easy way to make time for yourself, and do that. And then I think really the practice of mindfulness is going to be really good, and slowing down and breathing. So like I said, listen to this video every week, and making it consistent, routine and discipline. So that's one thing you can do, bringing in some mindfulness and just being mindful of what you're already doing. That's going to be self-care when you start to just do things more mindfully. And then slowing down by using the breath. So taking more deep breaths in and out, slowing down, being in the moment. And last week we talked a lot about grounding as well. So grounding into the present moment is going to be really important to really bring yourself back to yourself. So these are things you can just do and bring into your life, hopefully, without adding so much other stuff to do, like more self-care practices. It's just general daily self-care. So that's some things you can implement. Hi Smita, thanks for joining in. And then what I want to do is ask why, right? Why should we take time to look after ourselves, right? And I think this is like a big question, like why would you take time out for yourself when you're so busy? You've got, I don't know, like a busy job, you've got kids to look after, or a husband, and priorities, and you know, there's lots going on. But what's your why? Why do we need to take care of ourselves? So that we can fill our cup up, so that we can then give to others. And there's lots of self-care practices that you can do to fill your cup up. Like I said, you can get onto the yoga mat, do yoga, meditation. You can eat well, you can eat mindfully, you can do your skincare practices, all of those things, which are really, really important. But I want you to dig a little bit deeper into your why. And I think it's also about making that connection to yourself, and really understanding yourself. And I feel like when I do my self-care practices, and I'm talking about like deeper practices, so that you can do like the eating well and looking after your skin, and those beautiful Ayurvedic practices as well. But when you start to do things like meditation, journaling, if you start to see a counsellor or a therapist and you go a little bit deeper with your self-care and start to connect to yourself, it's almost like you're starting to study yourself, and you become swadhyaya, they say in yoga. Swadhyaya is the self-study. So you start to understand yourself. You understand like where you've come from, where you are, and where you're going. And it's really getting to understand your soul and what your soul is here to do. And often we obviously come into our life thinking, okay, there's a certain way of life, right? You're born, you grow, and then, you know, later on you study, you go to university, you might get married, you might have kids, you build a career, you build a house and a home and all of those things. And that's like the general way of doing things. But your soul might have a different way of wanting to do things. And we need to understand that, because we get lost by society and what society wants for us. So if you really want to make time for self-care, I ask that you go deep into your self-care to really connect to your soul, and to see what your soul needs and how does your soul want to grow. And yeah, it's just like a big question. I feel like a big question that you can ask yourself, like, what's your why in terms of doing self-care? And then if it is going deep and finding your soul and understanding your soul, know that it is a journey, and it's not something that you can experience and feel, understand overnight. It takes time, like it's a process. And when you start to connect in with your soul, it's growth, like you're starting to grow. And externally we can feel like we're growing, like as we go through life and through experiences, and often it's through our suffering actually, where our soul starts to really receive lessons and we start to grow and develop. So that's why it's so important to start to connect to yourself so that your soul can grow. And that's where the self-care is really important. And I think if you're not there yet, as I'm talking about this, if this feels like it's just like going way over your head and you're just thinking, what's my soul? I don't even know what my soul is. That's okay. But I think it's like starting off slow. So like I said, if I take this right back to the beginning of what I wanted to say, if you are showing up for yourself every week by just listening to this video, and you're listening to me and you're not even implementing any of the self-care practices, you're just listening to the video, then that's great. You're already like a step closer to yourself. And there's obviously a desire within you to understand self-care, to understand yourself. So that's really beautiful and that's really amazing. And you can just accept that. And then maybe like next week or in a week's time or something, you might think, okay, actually, I want to start like a self-care practice. And that could look like doing a little bit of yoga in the morning, or it could be just waking up a little bit earlier and doing 5 minutes of meditation. It could be just incorporating a really good skincare practice, doing some dry skin brushing, doing some Abhyanga, like I said before, or doing like your face yoga or moisturizing your face, whatever it is. Just make time for yourself. Just know that you are so valuable, you're so important. There's so much inside of you that is undiscovered, that is yet to be discovered. And as you start to do these self-care practices, you will start to become a little bit closer to yourself. And when you become a little bit closer to yourself, you become more of you. And that's what the world and other people around us need. Everyone needs more of you, especially if, and I say especially if you have kids, but actually, even if you don't have kids, it doesn't matter, because the world still needs you to be you. But if you do have kids, it's like, I feel like if I don't do my self-care, I miss out on being me, but also my kids miss out on being me. And they really need me to be like the best version of myself that I can be. And self-care really gives me that. And so it's really important that you take care of you. And that's just like the message that I want to get across today. And that it's so important to make time for yourself. And I don't know if anyone can add in the comments, like, are you managing to like make time for yourself, or do you struggle? Are you managing to do like a self-care practice? Or are you just doing, like how I said, are you kind of just implementing it into your life as you go along? Maybe it's just doing that breathing and just taking deep breaths in and slowing down as and when you can. Let me know in the comments, or let me know later. You can message me as well. But that's kind of what I wanted to just offer today and give to you and share in terms of how to make time for yourself. So I hope that kind of was useful, and I hope it helped. And if you can make a bit more time for yourself today, I just encourage you to either, like, I'll give you some options of things you could do for yourself to really take this on for the rest of the day. You can go out for a walk in nature. You could make a really nice healthy breakfast if you're still in the morning, breakfast for yourself, or lunch later. You could do a yoga practice, meditation practice. You can come to my class. I'll be teaching at 10:30 in Watford. If anybody wants to join, come along. There's so many different things that you can do for yourself. And if none of that, you can't make any of that, then at least just slow down and take some deep breaths in and out as you go through your day. But I hope that helped. And yeah, some people have written in. So Neelam says, I have a practice, but sometimes when life gets busy, it can slip. And then I realise how much I need it. That's so true. I feel like, yeah, when we get busy, we can lose sight of ourselves, and that's okay. Just know that you have your practice and you can come back to it when you've got the time. And then Uma says, I never make time for myself as I forget, but you have reminded me to do so. Oh, amazing. Job done. I feel like I've done my job then. Yeah, so just come on here every Sunday, and this is my aim, just to remind you to take care of yourself. Like, you're so important. Don't forget, really don't forget about yourself. You're just so valuable and so important. And you're worthy of your time, your awareness, your attention, your love. And really bring that self-love like into your life. So yeah, I hope that helped, and I will be back here next Sunday. I'll be choosing another topic for next week. If you have any ideas of what you would like me to share in terms of self-care, then let me know. You can find me on Instagram. I'm also going to save this video so it'll be on my profile, so you can check it out there as well. But otherwise, have a really lovely Sunday, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.